Calaroga Shark Media.
Hey, I'm Johnny Mac with 5 good news stories. Good news if you're trying to get back to the future. A 1981 DeLorean DMC-12 was found in a barn in southern Wisconsin. It had been there for years, if not decades. There were only 9,080 such cars built in the 80s. This was car number 571. Guess how many miles it had on it? 977. You're going to have to do some work on it. The tires had long since deflated. Some mice had nested inside of it. Michael owns DeLorean Midwest, an auto shop, and said it was literally sinking into the earthy of this gravel floor barn, untouched for years. A guy named Mark had called the shop saying he had a DeLorean to sell. Michael wasn't too interested because he would have had to travel 17 hours to check it out, figured it could be a bust. But then he heard about the 977-mile odometer. He traveled there and met the owner in the barn. The exterior was covered in dust, the interior in mouse poop. Other than that, the car is in pretty good shape for being more than 42 years old. It hadn't been driven much, it never had parts replaced, it was left in a barn. Mark points out, sun fade is a huge killer for cosmetics. Michael was going to refurbish the car and try and sell it for more than $100,000, but said, I'm starting to develop a soft spot for it. Good job by Andrea, who's 42. Andrea had competed in triathlons and even a half Ironman, but in 2014, she noticed her times were slowing and her muscles weren't as strong as they used to be. She discovered she had ALS, commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Andrea said, in 6 months, I went from the strongest I've ever been to walking with a cane. I was shocked and sad in the moment, but I also realized I had no more time to waste in this life. Doctors told her life expectancy was like 2 to 5 years. She decided she wanted to use her time and body in a way she loves. She bought a recumbent trike, sometimes used in races as an accessibility alternative, and competed in what she thought would be her last triathlon. She said, I came in last by almost an hour, but people stayed to watch. It encouraged her to keep going. Before she knew it, she had completed marathons in every state. The first person with ALS to do so, her 50th one, was in Alaska. She wrote a memoir, and her husband says, I hope it can be used to show people how to take on whatever marathon is in their lives, whether it's ALS or whether it's anything. Amazon driver Elijah delivered more than a package at a Chicago house recently. He also dropped some fashion pointers. You see, Elijah showed up at the house and noticed teenager Luke was struggling to put on a tie, so Elijah stepped in to help. Family members stood around smiling and laughing. He told the young man, you're killing the game. He was clean. He reminded me of myself when I was coming up. That's how I used to dress. Elijah learned how to tie a tie when he was 10. He said, all the brothers around me showed me how to do it. Elijah said it made the news. I didn't believe it at first, but then I had other people calling me. Made me feel good. Good news for a rescue dog named Bret Michaels. Bret Michaels the dog has been adopted by human rock star Bret Michaels. That's right. You know Bret Michaels from Poison. He heard about Bret Michaels the dog when the Nebraska Humane Society shared a Facebook post about the dog whose blood was used to save a month-old kitten. The Humane Society wrote, it's not very often that our own dogs get a chance to be a hero. When a kitten's life was hanging in the balance, 6-year-old husky Bret Michaels stepped up to save the day. The kitten was later named Thorn after Poison's 1980 hit, Every Rose Has Its Thorn. The kitten was suffering from major blood loss, which caused him to develop anemia. To survive, he needed a blood transfusion. Alec Rose, no, not Axl Rose, Alec Rose, who works at the shelter, said feline blood is very particular. As far as typing goes, we didn't have time to figure out what type the little guy was and had to find a suitable donor. That process would have taken a lot longer than he actually had. The shelter's vet came up with a plan called xenotransfusion, which involves transfusing blood from one species into another. Bret Michaels the dog had recently undergone a full vet exam, including blood work, and was deemed a viable donor candidate. So that alone made the news. Then they got a message. Hey, Team Bret reaching out to you. What an absolutely amazing story. We wrote to you in a private message. Bret Michaels the human would like to explore adopting Bret Michaels the dog. Bret Michaels the rocker said the story of Bret Michaels the husky saving Thorn the kitten's life with the blood transfusion was beyond incredible. I was immediately moved and personally contacted the Nebraska Humane Society to say, go no further. I will adopt Bret Michaels the husky. Well, I don't know how you're going to feel about this next one. Do you want to save some money? Sure, you do, right? You're in. What could Johnny Mac possibly say to you that would make you go, no, I don't want to save any money? Well, a TikToker explained how you can save money. You're going to make the switch to family cloth. Get ready for this. She said, we had a toilet roll subscription for the last 3 years, and I can easily see how much less we're using and how much we're saving. All you need is a set of wipes and a zip wet bag, and they'll last for years. What's this about, Johnny Mac? Well, you see, family cloths are reusable cloths that can be washed after you've been to the bathroom. You get the idea. You're going to do your stuff, use the thing, and then you're going to wash it, and then it goes back. If we're going to do this, I at least want one with my name on it. You can use your own. I'll use mine. All right. That's your 5 good news stories for today. If you enjoy the podcast, tell a friend about it. They might like it too. And they can follow it for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever they get their podcasts. Have a great day.